Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Morning Real Estate Marketing Show with Ruthie Rocks Ruth Allbrand, and I am Marketing Max. This is show number 457, if you can believe that already. And today we actually have a pretty special guest here. Her name is Debbie Anderson with Advance Insurance. She's going to be talking about basically cybersecurity insurance, what it covers, why you need it, and all the intricate details of that. So we've been talking about cybersecurity for the last, year and a half, almost 2 years now, about the threat. And now we're going to talk to you about how to protect yourself. But before we bring Debbie on here, Ruth, what is happening in Las Vegas?
Well, as they say, homes are going off the shelf like toilet paper.
Right.
That doesn't seem to change. We have 3,118 homes available, which puts us at 0.8 of a month's of inventory. So that's kind of scary, but we did list 168 homes yesterday to keep us up at that mark. So yesterday we actually dipped to 0.79. Wow. And I was getting a little shaky, but we're back up there at 168. And homes are usually on the market, let's say 35 days. Now they're on the market 15 to 17 days before they get an offer. So,
wow.
Yes, COVID had no impact on real estate. Actually, right. The buyers are pent up. The interest rates are low, and millennials are starting to buy. And people think, millennials are not buying homes, but I'm here to tell you that they are. They're a big part of our market right now. And millennials, I found out, have, let me get this figure straight because it's in the trillions, and they are the richest. Millennials are the richest group of people today. They will inherit $68 trillion from the baby boomers.
From the baby boomers.
I mean, that's a huge number, 68 trillion. I have to keep looking at it. It's unbelievable.
That's a massive number.
Massive number, yes. So people say, well, and I bring that up, Max, because people say, how long is all this going to last? Well, we don't see it slowing down.
Yeah.
And what's happening too, good for the sellers, they see, and I have this on my chart, where I say, if you buy a median priced home in 2011, of 120,000 back then, that was the median price. Today it's 345,000. So wow. You could have amassed, 225,000 in equity in your home. And as you go down through the years, even if you bought your home in 2017, you have 77,000 in equity. So what this means is that homeowners can consider moving up, getting a newer home. Maybe they want to have a different style of home now, whatever. And maybe their kids are growing up. They want to be in a different school. All these reasons for people to take that equity now and move. And so that's why we had 168 listings yesterday, because people are moving, and they're moving within our city. They're not moving out.
Right.
That's the good news too.
And they could be paying less with the upgrade.
Isn't that amazing? With the interest rates so low, they can get a newer home, and their payment can be less. Exactly. Yeah. And they're putting more into the equity, or into the principal, which gives them faster equity also. So with all these things going on, we don't see the market slowing down at all.
No, not at least for another probably year and a half here, maybe even 2 years plus.
I think, yeah, and then we'll see. I mean, I don't like to predict too far out because there's so many factors that affect, the home buying process, including interest rates, including the economy, including the job market. But we see Las Vegas coming back.
And with the economy opening up again later this year, hopefully with the vaccine rollout through the middle part of this year, Vegas is going to be an attraction that people are going to want to come and see again. And once people come and see, that's what happens is like they'll realize if they have friends that live here or whatever, they'll start touring the town and seeing the certain aspects. And if they're from California, New York, even Arizona right now, I mean, Arizona prices are tremendously high, and Arizona still has state income tax. Right. And you're getting the same pretty much quality of life that you would have in like Phoenix or Scottsdale or anything like that up here in Las Vegas, but no income, no state income tax. And you have a 24-hour nightlife. And the millennial generation, they're having kids probably a little later in life as well. So the 26, 27, 28, 29, 30-year-olds, I mean, they're not necessarily, they're buying homes, but they're not necessarily having kids quite yet. And they'll, be able to take advantage of the lifestyle that Las Vegas offers here.
Yeah. And what's the age now? Let's see, 25 to 40 are the millennials.
Right.
Yeah. So
25 to 40.
Yeah. Great. It's going to be a great future. That's what I predict.
Yeah. Vegas is going to withstand. And, I mean, they're not bringing all these sports teams here because Vegas is a declining market in population. So.
Right. So I want to talk a little bit about cybersecurity, and we have this. I'm honored to have Debbie join us today. Cybersecurity is a huge issue for the real estate industry. And the hackers and the people that know how to phish emails and things like that are stealing people's money. And the agent, if they're not properly protected by educating themselves on how to be cyber secure, is one major step. But the second major step is having insurance, because if it happens to you and it happens to your client, you need to be protected. So I'm going to bring Debbie on, and Max, take it away.
Yeah, you got it. Hi, Debbie. Good morning.
Good morning, Max. How are you?
Good morning. We're doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Nice to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you joining on. Just a little brief. I'm going to give everybody a brief introduction on you, and then you can fill in the holes and expand on that here. So Debbie's originally from Virginia, is what I hear, but she's a 30-year resident of Las Vegas. So I really consider, I think anybody that has over 20 years of residency here in Las Vegas, pretty much at this point, natively local, because you've probably seen this town kind of expand and grow and evolved over the last 30 years tremendously here. So, but she's with Advance Insurance, and we brought her on today to talk about cybersecurity insurance, or like cyber insurance here, and she'll expand on what that is. And so before we get into the heart and of that matter, though, Debbie, I always ask clients, so what brought you to Las Vegas 30 years ago?
Well, it was about the time they were having another recession in Virginia. I was very young. Okay. I had a choice of going into the military at like 21 years old, or turning around and coming to Vegas and work. Well, there were jobs in Vegas. Getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning was not my idea of a good time. It's like, no. So I said, let's try Vegas. And I've been here ever since.
Okay. So, why Vegas though? Like, how did you even know that this town existed, 30 years ago?
I had actually been with a family member a year before and lived for a year in Vegas.
Oh, okay. There you go. See?
Went back to Virginia, stayed for a year, came back and went, I need to work.
There you go. Right.
And at 21, where else is a better place to be?
Fantastic. Yeah, that's what usually happens. People come here, like I was telling Ruth at the beginning of the show here, people are going to come through this town, enjoy the amenities of, the entertainment and whatever gambling and hospitality that we offer here. And then they're going to realize at some point, there's a calling. That's the same thing that happened to me. I would come here. I'm a native from California, Southern California, like probably 50% of this town now is.
Yes.
But I came here, and then one day, a job opportunity opened up here. I'm like, why not? I'm young, in my 20s, no responsibilities. And here I am 15 years later, still in Vegas.
It does. Of those things you get here and you realize that, wait a minute, you can be here 24 hours. You can have dinner at 9:30 at night, anything you want.
Right.
Entertainment, not right now, but it'll be back, and be able to do all those things.
Right. Perfect. Well, my question for you, to start here about the cybersecurity stuff, Debbie, is like, what does cybersecurity insurance even cover? And the second part of that question is, have you seen a rise in the need for cybersecurity over the last, like, even decade now?
Yes. It is extremely changed, the scenery has, because with cybersecurity, with cyber crimes, you don't even know a lot of times you've been hit until way after the fact. And what do? I mean, the average person, average agent, even personally, you wake up one morning and your laptop says, please push this button to unlock it. We now have control of your software.
Mhm.
You're looking going, what do they have? How am I going to handle this? You know, you can't take it to the Geek Squad. That's not going to happen. Okay. Right. They're going to go, oh, we don't want it. We don't get your computer out of here. We don't want our stuff infected. As if it could jump from computer to computer. And when running a business is even more serious, because now you think about your clients, you think about, oh, what information did they actually get hold of? You know, what are they holding ransom? What type of malicious software is on my computer at this point, and what you're going to do. So cybersecurity essentially takes it out of the hands of you and puts it in expert hands, because none of us are software programmers as an average. So what happens is you make a phone call, you call the insurance company. Hopefully you'll be calling me at Advanced Insurance. And then what happens is we turn around and we handle it all. You have experts that come in to see how far the computer has been infected. You have experts to tell you exactly what move to do next. So think about it. If your house was flooded, you wouldn't try to clean off all that mess by yourself. You wouldn't try to fix the pipe. You wouldn't try to do anything else. You would call your insurance company and say, my house is flooded. What do I do? This is the same circumstance. When you find out that, oh, shoot, there's something wrong, somebody has been in your computer, you call an expert, which is the insurance company, and they go in and make everything work well.
Right. So will they fix your network or find the breach? How's that work with?
They take and mitigate it. So they will turn around and tell you what authorities you have to get hold of. They actually give you steps to be able to get hold of your clients, and they literally take you step by step through the whole process.
Mm. And what if, the liability part of it, right? I think for most businesses, if they, especially for me, I remember what MasterCard or even TD Ameritrade, like a few years ago, got hacked, and there's a protocol that you have to follow to, like, announce it to the public and things of that nature. And once they do, obviously, a band of lawsuits are going to come. I mean, how's that work, and what's the coverage around all of that?
Well, the nice thing about that is the insurance company's attorneys take care of all the lawsuits, because that's what you don't have to go out and hire your own attorney and figure out, okay, how do I pay for this? Because that's the biggest problem, is you're still trying to figure out how to get your business off the ground. And what do I do? The insurance company comes in and they handle the lawsuits. They handle the paperwork on exactly how to announce it and when to announce it, because that makes a difference. There's a legal liability of time frame that you have to announce it in, but there's also other steps that you can use to mitigate, so that while it's under investigation, they turn around and give you exact timing of when you're required to, how to help your clients, how to announce it. And they have the actual software and wording and everything else that you would need to be able to inform your clients of what has happened and to announce it to the public. And there's times you do announce to the public, and there's times that you would not. And that's all depending on the laws in your state and all the different entities that are involved.
Got it. And so that sounds all very expensive. When you say lawyers involved, I mean, and experts involved, I'm thinking like dollar amounts. So, I mean, especially in real estate, if I'm a sole proprietor, like a one person real estate or even a small brokerage company, what can I expect to like the cost of something like that, having cybersecurity insurance as part of my business costs?
Insurance itself is very inexpensive. The coverage that they cover is usually $1 million policy. I don't recommend anything less. Now, if you woke up and said, wait a minute, I have to pay for $1 million coverage, that's going to be super expensive. Cyber insurance is usually less than $100 a month for $1 million of coverage. So insurance in its nature is to transfer risk. So essentially I'm saying, hey, I'm going to pay you a little amount of money and you're going to give me a whole bunch of coverage. That's the bottom line. And that's in any insurance. So I would rather the insurance company pay for it than turn around and try to figure out, I don't have $1 million in my budget. I don't think you do either. Right. Most agents don't have $1 million in their budget.
No, they don't. They don't. Right. So, I mean, so you're talking less than $100 a month, basically, to give you this insurance coverage here.
Absolutely. It depends. Now, if you have a large brokerage, it's going to vary. And the rating is based on revenue and how many clients records that you keep, and also the security that you use, because the insurance company expects you to be reasonable. You're going to have to do your due diligence. You have to make sure that you follow all the protocols.
Right.
Simple of being in business. And they're also going to turn around and say, hey, this is what you need. When you start it, you'll have access to additional resources that help you set up and make sure your clients are secure, which is a nice little benefit.
Absolutely. So they'll go in and look at where your potential leaks are in your security, or how's that work?
Yes, they won't come into your business and say, okay, here's your files, you need to do this. You go onto a website.
Okay.
And at that point, that tells you, gives you hints, tells you recommended different software, what to look for to make sure that there has been no breaches, how to protect yourself, making sure that your employees have a laptop provided by you. Because if they're using their home computer, guess what? You don't know what's on that.
That's right.
You have no idea.
This is a big message for brokerage firms, right? Like brokers, like this is a big security risk.
Yes.
Because I can tell you right now, and Ruth can attest to this, right? I mean, the majority of agents with their brokerage firm are all using their own computers, and they're not bringing it to their broker to check for compliance with security, making sure their antivirus is all up to date, and all their firewall issues on the platform is all up to date, and whether or not they have a password on their Wi-Fi at home.
Absolutely. And the thing is, with today's living, we're intermingling with home and work and home and work. Right. And did your 8-year-old use that computer in the morning to do their Zoom call with their teacher? Because, oops, their computer broke and you had to do something right that moment. That's reality.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's a lot easier to give your employee a $400 Chromebook, because now you don't need a lot of power to run 99% of programs. I have a computer background, so I do know, it doesn't take much at all to run most of the software that we use. So you're handing your employee or your 1099, because real estate agents aren't employees. Okay. You're handing them equipment that they sign for, they check out. Mm-hmm. And yes, it may run you $400 for each real estate agent that you're working with. But what does that compare to your reputation when you have to announce that, oops, there's been a breach?
So I have a question.
Absolutely.
A friend of mine had she's a broker. One of her agents was doing a transaction, and that someone got into her email and got her buyer's email address and sent them an email saying, please send $85,000 for your closing, and gave them wiring instructions, which were to the hackers bank. And as soon as, of course, they got the money, they were gone. Would it cover something like that?
It would.
That is huge, because that's our biggest threat.
Yeah, as long as the insurance was in place before the event, you call afterwards and say, can I get coverage for 2 days ago?
Nope.
That's not going to happen.
That doesn't work right.
Now, this is a proactive thing. When you start business, the Business License Bureau turns around and says, you need a license. You need insurance, whatever the requirements are, okay? The same with having cyber insurance. You want to start from when you start your business. And if you've been in business a little while and oops, you don't have it, that you can fix it. Get your cyber insurance, get everything in your house in order, essentially. That way you sleep better. Let the insurance company take care of the problem. You don't want to take care of it. This is not something you want to wake up to in the morning.
And the broker can get insurance that covers and adds all the insurance agents under the same umbrella, correct?
Absolutely. And the essential information that's needed, it's super easy. There's a one-page application. They ask standard questions. How long have you been in business? What's your revenue? How many files you keep? Do you use antivirus software? They don't specifically ask which one, because of course that's always changing. They ask, are you following the protocols for Visa, MasterCard? If you're taking cards, do you follow do you have standard procedures in effect? And I can literally look at this application, and 90% of businesses will turn around and they're set to go. It's not like you have to go put a bunch of things into effect before we'll take you for the insurance. It doesn't work that way.
Got it.
As long as you're using good common business sense.
So we have a question here actually from Tammy Compton here, who's watching the show this morning. She says, will someone from the insurance company come and check your computer system at home to ensure that you're in compliance?
No.
Okay.
No, they're not going to come to your house. They're not going to turn around and check your books. They're going to, when you sign the application, you'll see on there that they're checking to make sure that you've been in business. But the insurance company pretty well trusts that you're going to use good judgment.
Right. Is there a checklist that they give you though that says, like, if you're working from home, you should have a Wi-Fi password, make sure your computer is has virus protection and things? I mean, will there be a checklist that they will?
There will.
Okay,
and actually, good. That's part of the service. Is you go on to the website and they give you all the information step by step, so you can look up and go, oh shoot, I didn't realize I should probably change my administrative password, because that's not a good thing to have set as from the manufacturer.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4 is not a valid password to protect your data.
No, or admin.
Yeah.
As a username.
Yeah,
so
exactly
you go
right.
in and you look at that and go, okay, I don't have this set correctly. Let me go Google it, look it up, and with my router, change my administrative password. Oh, now we're more secure. Okay, that's just one example.
Well, and I think that people don't realize that their router's passwords are on Google, and because they're standard passwords for all the different routers. And that's normally what, especially if you did it yourself, you probably didn't go that extra step to change that password. And if I'm a hacker, I can go in and hack you based on I Google and see what Netgear's password is.
You're correct. There's a full list out there, and
yeah,
you just pop in, Google it. It'll say, normally it's like admin or administration or something simple like that, and a simple password.
Yeah. And so you need to change it, and it's not hard.
No, you don't have to be a techie to do this. And if you do, go talk to a teenager. They'll figure it out for you real quick.
Right.
And that's step one for your home. But then also, I think that, the brokers out there that provide Wi-Fi to their companies, they need to do that as well. And I think when you did the presentation at our cybersecurity class the other day, I told you that we have a server that is secure and people cannot hack into ours. And we've been doing that since the late 90s. And I, like you, have a computer background. So I knew that computers are very easy to hack.
Absolutely. We do the same thing. We have our own server, and then we also have redundant backup as a insurance company.
Yes.
So I don't represent just one insurance company. I represent multiples. So think about a risk that's out there.
Yes.
Working with multiple clients and multiple insurance companies, and insurance companies collect as much data, if not more, than realtors.
Yeah, I think the second people are the mortgage people, and the mortgage companies today provide computers to their loan officers, and they can only go to one location that's on a secured server to take applications for people applying for mortgages, because theft identity is rampant, and I do believe your insurance covers that as well.
It does. Absolutely. It covers everything from example, if there was a breach of any kind, or hack, or ransomware. So any of the above is covered by the insurance. So if example, you ended up having somebody hacked into your system, that's completely covered. And they actually cover everything except for any post income. So for an example, there was a hack. You're going to have income loss while you're taking care of this, because you've got to shut your whole system down. Now everybody is working on making sure the client is protected. Not calling and selling homes. So at that point, that income is protected, and you would actually get the income that you would have lost comparatively. Now, anything previous to it, of course, you don't get. So it is a tremendous amount of coverage for the small amount of money that you're exchanging for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you do it at a brokerage level, I think, and every broker has the opportunity, I guess, to transfer the cost. But I think if you do it as a group, the insurance cost is probably less, right? If you get a group of 100, if you're a brokerage company with 100 agents or 50 agents, and do a brokerage level type of coverage, so that each individual realtor or real estate agent doesn't have their own insurance.
Well, and it also stops is it the fault of the brokerage? Is it the fault of the agent? Because they're so closely melded.
Right.
I went on your network and I was hacked. Okay, who's at fault here? Right. Do I go by your insurance? Do I go by my insurance? If you're covering it as the brokerage, then there is no problem. You've covered your agents and you've covered yourself. And as far as premium, we turn around and, like workers' comp for insurance agents, each agency is covered under workers' comp, and we pay a small amount a month to cover that part of workers' comp, and we don't have to worry about it. So you can distribute the cost out to your agents if you're a brokerage.
Right.
You don't have to shoulder, oh shoot, now this is another expense that I have to do.
Yeah.
Insurance, don't think of as an expense. The best way you think of insurance is, what if something goes wrong?
Yeah.
Right. So what is the difference? I mean, is Advanced Insurance, are you a brokerage?
In layman's terms, we're a brokerage.
So so you're not a direct insurance company, so you basically go out and, I guess, shop. You don't have an exclusive with one insurance company, right?
In our industry is called captive.
Captive.
That means if you're
Got it.
State Farm, Farmers, Allstate, any of those, you call one number and they
Right.
turn around and they give you their best price at a time. Okay. As a layman's term brokerage, we call it independent agent.
Independent agent, right?
As an independent agent, we are contracted with multiple insurance companies, which the nice thing about that is every insurance company, doesn't matter what brand they are, has cycles. So this company has great pricing and they have great coverage for this year. Next year, they still have the great coverage. They don't change their coverage.
Right.
Okay. But their pricing changes because they decide that they want this demographic. All right.
Right. Or they had to pay out in massive amounts of claims.
So they have to change their rates.
Correct.
All right. What an independent agent ends up doing for you is once we take care of your original business, you never have to shop it again because that's our job. You transfer this phone call and another phone call and another phone call to us. We see your renewal coming up and we go, that's a little bit high. Let me double check it. And we run it through all our companies, which at this time, I'm at like 14 auto insurance companies, the same in home. And in commercial, that changes constantly because one company will be in the business, one company won't. So we make the phone calls for you. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to go, let me spend a week of my time. So I make sure I get the right price so that I keep my budget in line because everybody has one.
Sure. No, that's a great key differentiator that I think, hopefully the people watching here understands is instead of calling like Allstate or State Farm, those are what they call captive, right, insurance agencies here, where they just sell their own product.
That's correct.
They're not shopping around for you to have the best price for the same coverage.
They're not allowed to sell anyone else's insurance.
Exactly.
And we deal with big companies. I mean, we're talking Liberty Mutual, we're talking Hartford, we're talking name brand companies. It's not XYZ insurance.
Sure.
Okay.
Right. Exactly. So for the people who I don't know why you would want to do this by yourself, find the right insurance and not work with the broker, but what are some of the things that people, the differentiation between the different insurance companies, right? There's always little nuances. And I used to work in commercial insurance for a brief moment and I got out of it really quickly because reading insurance policies, that's part of the training as an agent is you got to read insurance policies and understand what they're in it. And you really have to be a lawyer or really be passionate about commercial or insurance in general to like really grasp and understand it all. But can you think of any of the nuances, especially when it comes to cybersecurity, that, one thing that doesn't offer over the other from different companies that, people should be looking out for?
Well, the biggest thing you want to think of is how well rated the company you're working with, how well rated the independent agent is. Are they new? Because a brand new agent will not know those nuances because just like real estate is, you can take a course, but that doesn't teach you the business. That teaches you how to be legal. Okay.
Right.
And all those things.
Right.
Where with insurance, if an agent has experience, that makes a huge difference because now they know exactly what to look for. They're going to have the better markets, which is tremendous because unlike home insurance, when you do a commercial policy and the person calls an agent, the first agent that actually quotes that company is the only agent that can quote that company. So same example, home insurance or car insurance. You could call, this agent can call this insurance company, the second agent can call that insurance company, the third agent, and they can all get different quotes or do it online, of course. It's not that way with commercial. If I call in to the insurance company or get it on the computer, get my quote, I'm the only agent that's going to have that quote because they don't want to work with multiple people because it is so complicated. It's not something. Insurance policies in general will put you to sleep. Read a commercial policy and your eyes will glaze over.
Right. Yes.
So This isn't something you would not go into a court of law. And I'm not comparing myself to an attorney. Okay. I do not have that education. I do have a lot of insurance education, but you would not go into attorney and represent yourself. That's silly. Okay. It's same with insurance. Don't try to be an insurance expert. Go run your business. Let us do the insurance stuff.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah. For the cost, you can't, and the liability, you don't want to do that. No, for sure.
No, because a lot of small businesses, they say 53% of small businesses have been targeted or are part of a cyber attack. That is scary. And there's a lot of small businesses that go under and close their doors because they were hit with a virus, a cyber attack of any kind, or ransomware. They don't have the deep pockets that insurance companies have to be able to handle it.
Mm-hmm. So just for our audience, just can define ransomware for us here.
Ransomware is you turn on your computer and it says, we now have control of your computer. You get this nice ugly screen, usually. It's usually big, bright, bold letters, and says you need to click here so that you can get your computer back. About 2 years ago, there was big headlines. Hospitals were having all types of issues. And what happened is hackers had got into their networks and they weren't taking the information. They didn't want the information. They wanted the money. Now think about it. You go to a hospital, they have tremendous amounts of information.
Right.
Yeah.
And FBI, the officials at the time, you know what they told them? Pay it. Ouch. And then throw the computer away. Because there's no way to get it out of there. Now, most of these bad actors are essentially petty criminals. They're not going to come in and say, we want $1 million. Usually it's $2,000, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You go pay it. You get your system back. Guess what? They come back. Because they say, hey, we got somebody. They sell your name to another name, to someone else, and they come in and hit you. So the insurance company actually pays ransomware included in the insurance.
Oh, wow.
So that you can get back in control of your system, recreating records that may not have been uploaded or that you need information from, and then destroy the computer.
Wow. It gets that drastic, huh?
It's that drastic. Because once you've been infected and they've gotten hold of your system, you don't know where it is in your system. Right. There could be keyloggers, there could be all kinds of script, it could be multiple things. And this happens from something simple as one of the real estate agents or the broker or so forth clicks on a link.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Somebody loses a laptop. And guess what? Somebody else gains access to your system and your network.
Yeah, or your kid using it and clicks on a link.
Absolutely. Right. How many people here have had their kids order something from Amazon and you got the notification and went, I didn't order that. Kids are super smart, but they're also kids. They don't think, don't click on this.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. So we're running about almost 3/4 of the hour here, Debbie. Appreciate all the information. I think, for people who can, insurance is one of those topics that can be very dry, but you made it as interesting as possible today. Right. But thank you for coming on. How do people, did you put her, there we go. Her contact information and any last words, any tips that you can think of off the top of your head for agents specifically here to help continue to protect themselves and get coverage.
To protect yourself, use one computer and use it only for your business. Don't let your children deal with it. Don't use it for taking and surfing the web or anything else. Use it just for business. And that is a huge determining factor, because then it doesn't go anywhere else. It's only with your clients.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as that, get hold of me. I'll give you a competitive quote and let the insurance companies take care of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's I kind of irk out when I see a real estate agent take a selfie of them at Starbucks with their computer. I'm like, please tell me you're not putting using the Wi-Fi at Starbucks.
Yeah.
So
no, you definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, have your own hotspot, have your own setup, and make sure you stay secure out there, because we're not thinking as criminals, but they're thinking how they can get in your pocket.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. With the world we're living in today, I mean, they're getting more sophisticated here. The hacking kind of techniques are pretty good. If you're not paying attention, especially if you're just reading emails sometimes and like scrolling through and, you know, and just clicking on things, you can easily be attacked. So, Debbie, thank you for coming on here. Ruth, what's happening this week? Any last comments for Debbie, or we can go on to the classes for the week?
Yes. The classes for the week, and of course it just dropped off of my screen. Hold on just a second. We have Monday, we have law. So if you are in need of 3 CE credits core, we have our law class. It starts at 10 o'clock, 10 to 1. Go to bee.vegas to sign up. And that will be the last class, CE class of the week. And then in March, we have a class every week. And we have a cybersecurity class, which is a core ethics class. And I just can't tell you how much you will learn if you take that class. And Debbie, you were there for the class we had, I think it was Thursday. Was it Thursday or Wednesday?
It was Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, you were there during the whole class. And would you recommend that class?
Absolutely. I mean, some of the videos that I saw, I went, I didn't know they could do that. Yeah. I'm not a cyber criminal, so I don't think about things. Yeah. And it showed exactly how to be able to look for items that you wouldn't even think about. I mean, I saw one of a Bank of America spoof site, and it looked real. So,
wow.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Okay.
And it wasn't boring, which is nice. Some of the classes are so dry and so boring.
Oh yeah, it's a good class. It is really a good class, and there we go, everybody. So here's our schedule. Like I said, Monday we have law. And then we have an ethics class, Show Me the Money, which is a really good class. And that's on March the 3rd. Then March the 11th, we have a general class, Be the CEO of Your Life. And this is a really good class to learn how to run your business. Then in the March 15th, we have the Advanced Strategies on Listings. And we had that class this past month, but it is so good. And with all these homes flying off the market, y'all, we need listings. So we're going to bring that back this in March as well. And then we have our ethics cyber security class, which is awesome. And that's on the 25th of March. On the 26th, we have contracts. And then we have law on the last week, March 29th. So if you are in need of your 12 credits, your core credits, or 12 credits for your general, all of these apply. So please join us and go to bee.vegas to sign up.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Debbie, thank you again for coming on and sharing your expertise on cybersecurity and insurance.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody.